See the interest you get with the variegation, and all you're doing is stitching those French knots in rows, back and forth and back and forth, and you're still getting complex shading going on. For the scalloped edging, I'm going to start with the two greens, and I'm going to stitch along the edge of the scallop, the outside edge of the scallop, and it's just one row of stitching. Then I'll follow that same row as the contour for the other colors of thread. Now these are the YLI machine quilting threads, Variegates, and you can see in the cherry rug that there's a subtle change of blends of colors. And so this is what I'm going to do next. Now these were the two colors, the Beijing red and the Napa Valley wine, that I used for the cherries. I'm also going to use that for the center of the scallops here. And then I'm going to take this thread away, and I'm going to use these two together for the next row of stitching, so that it's going to subtly blend, okay? Because this is the common thread. And then I'll take that one away and I'll stitch with these two. This is the Paris Boutique and this is Pyramids of Giza, and those are the two that I'm going to stitch in here, and this is also the background. And so what you're going to get in the Variegates is this cream is changing to tan, and in the Paris Boutique it's pinks, orange, orchid colors, and that's how you're going to get this really pretty variegate change of color going on in here. Also, one of the things that I failed to mention is that you just see the machine going up and down in a straight stitch. That's what we're using. We're just using a straight stitch. We're not using a zigzag. You are creating the stitch by the way you move your hands. That is thread painting. Here you can see that I've got the first two colors, which was the Pyramids of Giza and the Paris Boutique, stitched along the green. And now I have the Beijing red with the Paris Boutique in the needle now, and I'm stitching along the contours that I've stitched previously. You see how this looks? I'm going to show you my little rug sample, and I have 2 rows of this color combination. There are 2 rows of this color combination, and then there are going to be 3 rows of the final color combination. I also want you to see while I'm stitching here, and I'm going to go ahead and go back, what I want you to see as I'm stitching. If you are a perfectionist, you're going to have to do better than me. I'm not a perfectionist. I like to make things that look good and pretty, and I like to use good techniques, but sometimes I'm not a perfectionist, and I just think that that makes it look more artistic. Now I have the last 2 reds to finish up the scallop, and those are the Beijing red and the Napa Valley wine, and I'm just filling in the rest of the scallop with this red. Okay, so you can see that I finished the stitching, and then what I did was I did a zigzag stitch all the way around the edge, and it was a small zigzag stitch about 3.5 width. And then I cut the fabric really, really close to the zigzag stitch. Now, wait a minute. Before I did the zigzag stitch, I cleaned out my bobbin case. That was really important. Okay, so, and then, of course, bring your feed teeth back up. So now I'm going to show you, I'm going to do another zigzag stitch. It's going to be wider. It's going to be about 5.0, and the width is about 0.7. 1, whatever. There's 1 thread through the eye of the needle now, and so now I'm just going to zigzag over this again. I hope you've enjoyed this demonstration on this thread painting technique. Doesn't tell you everything you need to know about thread painting, just some things, just for the fun of it. Okay, so that's finishing it. Now, the next thing I did was where you can see the little white threads here, I used a felt tip pen in red to color in those stitches, and then I also blocked it so you can see here on the finished project that was done. We've stitched the little cherry rug. It's a folk art design. And so I'd like to show you some other patterns using the same technique, in some cases a different thread, and with some different finishing ideas. This is Sunny Rug. It's similar to cherry rug in many ways. I've added fringe to the edges. I've added tassels in the four corners of this rug. When I showed it to my husband Scott, he said, it's pretty, but it doesn't really look like a rug. So I added a little man, and it gave him new perspective. In two tulips, the background is stitched in stripes, but the colors are so similar in value that you get a beautiful mottled effect. In floral ornament, I used the Monet threads by YLI. I did not use two threads through the eye of the needle, I just used one, so my stitches had to be much smaller, and so you can get more detailed work, but it gives a wonderful fuzzy effect. These Monet threads are wonderful for thread painting animals too. For more information on the patterns and the detailed instructions and the YLI threads used in this project, go to www.threadpaint.com. So that's it for today. Thank you for joining us on Designing by Thread. This is Terry White. See you next time.